Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Think Small podcast. My name is Monica Dema. I'm with MD Inc. I'm here today with Maddi Keegan, Financial Officer and Chief Operating Officer, Frazier Financial, with a huge history in financial trends prior to. So, Maddi, thank you and welcome to the show today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
So let's jump right in. There's so much around growth and finance in any kind of business. And as you're part of Frazier Financial, what brought you to a company like this?
Yeah, so I was very fortunate to find them. It was kind of by accident a little bit, but I think culture has a really big part in growth. And I was able to one of the partners there I'd met on the Financial Planning Association board, so kind of doing some involvement in the community, and got to meet him, got to know the team for a few months before deciding to join. And it felt like a really, really great place with great people that were serving great clients. And so it was a kind of a no-brainer after that period of time. It was like, I'd love to get started and work with them.
And so when you say join, they acquired your company, not just hired.
Yeah. So I had my own registered investment advisory firm, so a financial planning firm in Columbus. And like I mentioned, I was on the Financial Planning Association board. I was trying to figure out, actually, within my own growth journey, I had hired an employee. She ended up leaving, and I was kind of at this crossroads of what do I do? I need to either hire again, and what if that person leaves, and kind of all the scary things that come along with that. And so I, like I said, was fortunate that I had talked to one of the other partners at Frazier, and he had said, come, we'll figure it out. And so I spent 5 or 6 months talking to them, getting to know them. They looked at the types of clients, is also a big part of it. They looked at the clients that I was working with, and kind of I looked at their client, and it felt like a really nice fit. I could easily come over. My clients would be benefiting from that relationship as well, because we have things like tax preparation in-house. So they'd be getting additional services, as well as just the team being larger and having more knowledge. So I wanted to join, and they were able to look at my clients and say, okay, here's the deal. So I had like an 18-month runway where we worked together. I was kind of like an employee of Frazier, brought my clients over, and then based on the revenue that my clients generated during that year and a half, they pay me based on that revenue.
Oh, that's fantastic. So it seemed like an organic meeting of the minds. And
yes.
How has this affected your clients?
They have definitely, I kind of joined thinking that they would benefit, and they have absolutely benefited, probably more so than I even understood and imagined. Because another thing you get when you do grow and have larger teams, is you get to do more things for clients. So we have, aside from the clients, day to day, they're getting better advice and better service. And if I'm out of the office, they have other people that can help them. All of the things that are the most important when it comes to financial planning relationships. But also, we throw different events during the year. They get to know us a little bit better. We get to know them a little bit better. And so I think I think they appreciate being part of the Frazier family now, and I certainly do too.
I think that's always my concern when a smaller shop is acquired or bought by a bigger one. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be diluted as a customer. I'm not going to be cared for as much because I'm just one of 1,000 instead of one of 100. So it seems like that is exactly the opposite of how it was for you and your clients in that journey.
Yeah, and I remember being a little bit nervous about the conversation with clients, because clients have to kind of re-sign agreements and do all the things to move over. And there might have been a couple of folks that were interested to see what would happen, but thankfully clients, pretty much every single one, trusted me, moved over, and then saw a pretty positive impact within the first few months. So
wow,
it worked out.
So they all moved over with you. They trusted you that much.
Yeah, I think I might have lost one client that probably wasn't a good fit anyway, but that was a surprise. I guess maybe I shouldn't have been surprised by that, but every single client pretty much virtually came over. And
they had the faith in you, right? They were buying from you, not necessarily Frazier Financial or any other company name.
Yeah, it is a relationship business for sure.
100%. Yeah. And you're dealing with people's finances, and the best way to make anybody change anything is through finance and romance. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
That's right.
Yeah. So what is it about this industry that excites you?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So many things. One is just, we still have a long way to go in terms of like recruiting more advisors, but the next generation and what they're able to do. I feel like our profession, specifically as financial planners, we've gone deeper and deeper with helping clients in different areas of their life. And it used to be kind of this, we would do the investments for you. And that's as an industry,
Yeah.
And, now with having a CFP, you have all these different areas that you study and that you help clients in. And so I see that only continuing to deepen relationships. So the next generation being able to fulfill the needs of those clients to even better extent than we are. Technology as well. It's been an area of, I know everyone is kind of, jumping on or talking about the AI trend, but there's just so many cool things you can do and tools you can use.
Yeah.
The hard part is putting it all together in a way that makes sense and is cohesive for a client. But I think that'll continue to be an area that grows, and only for the benefit of clients. So everything I'm talking about here is helping people get access to really great financial advice so they can meet their goals.
Is there such a thing as being too aware, too informed, too educated?
As like a client, you mean?
As a client or as a financial advisor?
I think it can sometimes, I guess I mean this for both of those people. I think sometimes it can maybe distract or confuse when there's just so much information out there. And actually, I kind of would equate it to like when we're talking to a client, you get to this kind of art of financial planning where the less you say and the simpler you can make something seem, usually the better and more effective it is, because people have decision paralysis sometimes with how many decisions they have to make. And so how can you make it as simple as possible, break down obstacles to get to where you need to go. And so I think that is true for both clients and when you're an advisor and you have all these different things that you can do, and information at your fingertips, it can be hard and distracting.
I think that's exactly where my question was coming from, is analysis paralysis, where too much information can be overwhelming and then nothing gets done, or everything is done and nothing is exactly right because you shouldn't be doing everything all the time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So since you mentioned these two letters, I'll bring them into the conversation. AI, what has it done for your business or for you personally?
Yeah, we're excited. So we've been using, some of the things that were a little bit earlier on that I think other firms and companies have adopted, like note-taking software so that you no longer have to be taking notes and trying to talk and all that, some of those conversations. Now with the the AI chat, we've been bringing that in to help in preparation for meetings. So, we have client files with a bunch of information, emails through Outlook with a bunch of information. So using that, our enterprise version, to pull in client information, read it, synthesize it, prepare, an agenda or some talking points for that meeting so that all the time that's kind of, I don't want to say it's non-value add, but AI can do it much faster. And then it becomes just as an advisor or as a team member, just reviewing that, making sure it makes sense, and then being able to jump into a meeting, whether it's with a client or internal. So those have been the big things. And I still think every day we're like learning new things about it. We've been trying to immerse ourselves. Some of us have gone to, some of our partners and team members have gone to AI conferences to see like what that looks like. The agentic piece of it's interesting. Like how can it take tasks? And so I know it's also scary because people think that means lost jobs. I don't know that I necessarily believe that, but I am really excited. I think that there's a lot that can be done. And again, all for the purpose of providing more value for us internally as well as for.
So I assume that there are guardrails against using it for client purposes. What does that look like with your industry?
Absolutely. So we have the enterprise version that we have when we're like looking at client data. It's protected in terms of it can't look outside or bring in web like the work enterprise version. So we have a place where we can pull in client data and prepare things, and it's not going to be impacted or send it out anywhere that it shouldn't be. We do also have the web version that you can use, but we have very strict policies that everyone has signed off on that they're not putting PII into those. So we are absolutely not putting anything that could be related to or identify a client out into the AI that would be, make it insecure.
Understood. And are there protocols when, let's say, a client leaves to scrub them?
So yeah, that's typical for, not just AI, but any type of information that we have. We have certain things we may have to keep record of, but any other data for clients, if they should leave, we would not retain.
Yeah. I think that's in general just really good protocol with any client. Sure. Yeah, fantastic. So you're navigating the introduction of AI and that advanced technology within your personal space, within your business space and client space. Is there something that you wish AI could do that it doesn't yet do? I
think so. I guess, and maybe I'm talking now about some of the negative things with AI. Like I think sometimes we have to be very cautious to tell our team, trust it, but double check your stuff because it sometimes hallucinates. I think they use that term, hallucinates. I still don't think it's where it really needs to be to rely on it for example, me bringing up the agentic piece, like it being able to go in, type things, pull things together, do tasks for client. Because of some of those things we've seen with hallucinations and other things where it's been wrong, like we don't feel fully comfortable in that piece of it yet. So I guess I think it will continue to evolve and get better and better, but it'd be nice to know that we could trust it to do certain tasks. I don't think we're quite there yet. more about the potential.
I like that it makes mistakes, because then it really makes you, as the human in charge of the query, look, search, and verify. Because if you just mindlessly plug and paste, where's the accountability?
Absolutely. And I like, that's one of the, I don't know if I want to say scary, but like the thing that people think about the most when it comes to the fears of AI, it's human beings not thinking for themselves anymore, or not feeling like they really need to double check what they're putting into it. That will result in bad advice all around, both in our profession as well as
society.
In society, for sure.
Yeah, I read last week that in America, our reading comprehension has gone down dramatically, like 30% in 10 years. So it's not just, it's the phone, right? Everybody's on a phone with the quick and easy 15-second clips or TLDR synopses. People aren't putting cohesive thoughts together that analyze and criticize positively or negatively whatever it is that they're reading. So I'm curious in the next even 5 years what that does for people's comprehension and literacy on a societal level. No, that is fascinating. And hopefully there's like a swinging back effect of like this information's in front of us. So I want to go back to the landlines. There's a lot AI can do, and there's a lot that humans should do, right? We're only as good as queries we put in. Even the same thing for a Google search. If you're not searching for the right thing, you're not going to get the right results. And from an SEO perspective, what I do for a living, kind of the same thing is coming in with AI, where if you're not putting in the right question or prompt, you're going to get out what you put in, and as specific as you can be, and how you've trained it, and all of the things. It comes into play, and it's a matter of using it with integrity and ethics at every step of the way. And at the same time, it keeps changing every 3 months. What it is now is so different than what it was February or November prior, right? And it's someone said it's like a hockey stick, where the growth curve is just, it was kind of flat, and then it's zooming straight up. So I'm curious, where do you think AI will be going in the next 3, 6, 12 months for your industry?
I mean, I would foresee it continuing to get, they're putting new versions out, it feels like, every week. So I think it'll continue to get better. I imagine the information that it puts out is more accurate. I think there will be, this is already happening a bit, but training on how, to your point exactly, like how do you prompt it? How do you use it? AI is a tool, but that doesn't mean that you can just assume whatever you put in is going to put out the right information. So I think there'll be more focus on how to get the best of it over the next 3, 6 to 12 months. And I think there will be more of a, I don't know, I could be wrong on this, but I think about our profession providing advice. And is there a fear somebody could go out and get advice themselves through something like AI? And, maybe I'm too optimistic, but I just think that people can't be replaced. There are just things people are always going to want. Maybe the market changes a little bit in terms of how many people want advice, but you're always going to have certain people that want to have that relationship with a person. So I think as AI continues to expand, there'll be maybe a clear delineation of what types of things and tasks it should do and does do for people, for companies, for businesses, versus the more clearly human type functions and tasks. It feels like it's just growing so much right now that everyone wants to jump in and try to figure it out and know what to do with it. And I just think it'll get over time clearer and clearer how to use it, be able to use it effectively, and where it doesn't make sense or isn't a good fit.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the last technology boom was, the internet, and prior to that, the private computer, PC, right? And so it's like, what can this do? How can it do it? And at the same time, the buck stops with me, right?
Yeah, neat. Absolutely.
So back to the growth of your company, if you can tell the audience a little bit about what the trajectory has looked like maybe in the past 3 to 5 years, and what it'll look like in the next 3 to 5.
Yeah, so for Frazier Financial, we've been fortunate. The growth has been pretty significant. I think it's something like we've tripled in the last, I know you said like 3 to 5. I think it's been like maybe 6 or 7 years, but in terms of, how much we're managing, the people on the team. So when I joined in 2023, I think I was number 15. We're at 21. That does include some like part-time and interns, but still just the head count has grown so much. We serve a little over 700 clients now. With my acquisition and with another partner's acquisition a few years before that, it was much, much less than that. So we are in that fortunate position where we've been growing pretty significantly. The market does help that too. If you're thinking about it from like a revenue perspective, market growth does impact, but we've been steadily bringing in, at minimum, probably 12 to 30 clients a year across the team. And I foresee that continuing to happen. We are focused on both on the people development side. So recruiting, it's always part of what we're thinking about. We're always looking out into the industry to see what are the next generation, what are they doing, where are they at, how can we meet them and know who they are, so that when the time is right to find another person to work with us, we're ready to recruit. And then, we've relied a lot on, as most financial planning firms, referrals. So we have kind of this natural pipeline of referrals coming in all the time from the clients that we work with. But we've also some of us have spent some time devoted to, how do we make sure people know that we're here, both from like marketing, blogs, website, putting ourselves out there so that people that need great financial advice and or tax preparation can find us. So all of those efforts that we kind of continue to work on, I only foresee us going up from here and even probably with faster momentum, I would think. Just the size and scale, as you get to a certain size, it becomes a little bit easier to multiply. So, so I see us hiring, a person a year at least, maybe more in the future on that front, continuing to have strong growth on the client front, and continuing to expand.
Okay, so it's a mixture of acquisition, mixture of increasing the headcount internally, adding the right marketing steps to reach the audience you're trying to reach, and the market superiority right now.
For sure. And there are some other things. I'm not mentioning that operationally, technology, back to the conversation about technology, that continues to get better. We continue to leverage that and get faster at tasks. So I see also growth being increased based on just efficiencies that are gained through process improvement, through AI, through some things that we don't have to invest as much in anymore.
So that would be natural business operations then, because there's always a new technology to adopt. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Looking, I think in our previous discussion, you mentioned you are over the $1 billion mark right now. How soon before you hit the $2, $5, $10 billion mark?
Yeah, great question. I have been thinking about this recently. So we're about 1.2 right now. We hit $1 billion last year. Again, we don't know what markets are going to do, that type of thing. Conservatively, I would say we'd be at $2 billion by 2030.
Okay.
I personally, again, to be a little optimistic, I personally think that would happen by maybe end of 28, beginning of 29.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go conservative and say by 2030 we'll be $2 billion, and we'll continue to invest in our people and our services and our tech and much as we can help. We want to help more people. That's for sure.
I think healthy optimism is great, especially when it's backed by fact and research and data. So that's really great. We ask all podcasters this at the end. What's stopping you from this growth?
I think kind of back to like the analysis paralysis. I think sometimes we get a little too in the weeds on things and lose sight of like the next best decision. And so I think kind of trying to be consistent about, this is an area where I need to be better about it, like taking the time to be strategic and then make the right next decision instead of getting distracted by all the millions of things you can get distracted by on a day-to-day basis. So I think that's the thing that's it's hard to keep on track to do that.
So focus.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Okay.
I had a doctor as a child, I think I was 5 or 6, coming out of the room. He would ask me, do you know how you're going to make your first $1 million? He would always ask me this. And I'm like, but doctor, I am 7 years old. I have no capacity for even understanding this number. And I was 8 or 9. I went back and he's like, did you figure out how to make your first $1 million? I'm like, no, but I know how to make my second. And he thought that was the best answer. But it's looking, forward thinking, because that first $1 million will come, that first $1 billion will come, and the second $1 billion should be that much easier.
Yep.
So that's fantastic. Maddi, I so appreciate your time today and all your insight and the growth of Frazier Financial. How can our audience reach you or reach the company if they want more information?
Yeah, so frazierfinancial.com is our website if you want to check us out. They can find me on LinkedIn. Maddi Keegan is my name on LinkedIn, so feel free, please, to connect. I'm also happy to, I love connecting with people generally. So my email, mkeegan@frazierfinancial.com as well. Feel free to reach out anytime, and I'm happy to chat.
And do you service people outside of your geographic area?
We do, actually. So we serve clients now. I think it's over 42 states we have clients out of. So a lot of them have a connection to Columbus, Ohio, but we can absolutely work virtually and do all the time.
Fantastic. That's really good to know. And I will include all that information in the show notes below to make it really easy for people to reach you. But again, Maddi, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yes, thanks, Monica. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?